name is Mark Hampson. I'm a professional photographer and I live here in Koh Samui, Thailand. It's now the 4th of March 2023. Last month, on the 20th of February, myself and some friends travelled to a small island which is part of the Antong Marine Park. We visited a small island called Koh Samui, where one friend of mine owns 50 rai of land. And it's here that we discovered a large piece of aluminium debris that looked like it could be part of an aeroplane. In fact, 3 of us said, wow, I wonder if this is MH370, the missing Malaysian Airlines flight. That was just a kind of throwaway comment at the time, but on coming back home, I looked into MH370 online and I came across a photo of a piece of debris that looked very, very similar to the piece that we'd found. So that spurred me to look further into it. Now, before we go any further, I'm not an expert on this. I'm aware there's lots and lots of theories, conspiracy theories, hijacking theories, and all sorts of stories about MH370. The truth is, nobody really knows what happened, but I'd like to share my story with you. So before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start at the beginning. So, as I said earlier, I live in Koh Samui, which is in the Gulf of Thailand. I was travelling with an American friend of mine, Jack Brown, and a Thai friend, Man. We travelled from Koh Samui to Don Sak by ferry, where we took a smaller boat to Koh Paloi. We stayed in Koh Paloi for the first night, and on the second day we took a small long-tail fishing boat to Koh Samui. It's on the beach in Koh Samui where we came across what we thought was aircraft debris. In this still image taken from the drone footage I was recording, you can just make out the location of the aircraft debris on the beach. The debris was approximately 6 foot by 4 foot. It's made of aluminium sheet with an aluminium honeycomb laminated between the 2 sheets. The piece had a curvature not dissimilar to an aircraft fuselage. It's obviously been in the water or on the beach for a considerable time, judging by the condition of it. Here you can clearly see the aluminium honeycomb in between the 2 sheets of aluminium. It also had the remains of what looked like white paint on both sides. Along one edge of it there was a piece of aluminium angle which was bolted through both sides. Again here you can clearly see the aluminium core. We left the debris where we found it on the beach and returned to Koh Paloi. Later that afternoon we took another speedboat to return home to Koh Samui. After I got home the next day, I started looking at MH370 debris photos online, and it's then that I came across this photo. As you can see, at first glance it looks very, very similar to the piece of debris that we found, including the aluminium strip bolted on across the bottom of this panel here. This particular piece of debris was found in Jeffreys Bay in South Africa. I then looked at a debris map to see where other debris has been found so far. Pretty much all of the debris found has been found around the coast of South Africa and Madagascar. So how would we have found a piece in the Gulf of Thailand? That didn't make sense. I then looked into the flight path of MH370, which took off for Kuala Lumpur, heading for its destination in Beijing. It was halfway across the Gulf of Thailand when the aircraft ATC contact was lost. So if something had happened to the airplane, causing a piece of it to be torn away halfway across the Gulf of Thailand, it would be quite possible for that piece to wash up through the Gulf of Thailand and end up on the beach where we found it. It's at this point that I realised that if indeed our debris was from MH370, then it could provide important information in finding out what happened to the missing flight. So I began searching the internet to try and find where I could report our find. Two names came up again and again in news articles: Richard Godfrey and Blaine Gibson. Both these men have been at the forefront of an independent search for MH370 since 2014. I haven't received a reply from Blaine Gibson, but the following day after reaching out, I did receive an email from Richard Godfrey. He's a well-renowned aviation engineer, and here's what he had to say.
Mark, please feel free to send any information you may have. Photos or video of the debris item that you found by email, or for larger files via an internet link such as Dropbox. Many thanks for your help. Mark, I have examined the photos you sent. The GPS data is still available in the embedded EXIF data in the photos, but gives a location in Mae Nam on Koh Samui Island. I agree that the row of high-lock machine screws resembles the Jeffreys Bay debris item. The material of the Jeffreys Bay debris item is a composite material with a carbon fiber reinforced plastic skin, whereas the item you found has an aluminium skin. The honeycomb core is also different to the Nomex honeycomb core found on Boeing 777 components. My first thought was that your debris item is a remnant of a rocket stage, but the item does not possess the curvature of the rocket body seen on other rocket stage debris found. I wonder if it could be from a rocket fin. Is the item flat or does it have any curvature? The most important question is whether there were any markings with letters or numbers on the debris item. My initial view is that your debris item is a remnant of a Japanese HIA rocket fairing or similar. The rocket is launched from the Tanegashima Space Center. The debris item pictured below was found in the Gulf of Thailand in 2016 and shown to be likely from a Japanese HIA rocket fairing. Your video was very revealing of the curvature of your debris item, which appears similar to the 2016 debris item. An alternative source is space vehicle debris from India launch, an interstage call or payload fairing. One of the trajectories from India's Sriharikota launching range crosses the Bay of Bengal and the Malay Peninsula. The key evidence is: general appearance is that of a fragment of a uniform cylindrical shape. Many hex-headed screws on the exterior surface, which is not a typical aircraft fixture. Aluminium honeycomb panel construction, which is not typical of the Boeing 777 construction. Nomex aramid cord CFRP panels and structures are more typical on the Boeing 777. Conclusion: the item is not from MH370, but a remnant of a rocket stage.
So let's take a look at some of Richard's key points. 1. I agree that the row of high-locked machine screws resembles the Jefferson Bay debris item. Here you can see the screws on our debris, and here on the Jeffreys Bay debris. 2. The material of the Jeffreys Bay debris item is a composite material with a carbon fibre reinforced plastic skin, whereas the item you found has an aluminium skin. In this picture of the Jeffreys Bay debris, you can just make out the carbon fibre weave pattern of the plastic composite skin. Whereas in this photo of our debris, you can clearly see that the skin is made from aluminium. 3. The honeycomb core is also different to a Nomex honeycomb core found on Boeing 777 components. These photos show the difference between aluminium honeycomb and Nomex aramid honeycomb. The debris we found clearly has aluminium honeycomb core, whereas in this photo of the Jeffreys Bay debris, you can just make out the orange colour of the Nomex honeycomb core. 4. Conclusion. The item is not from MH370, but a remnant of a rocket stage. This is one of the photos that Richard sent to me of debris from a rocket stage that was found on a beach near Nakhon Si Thammarat in the Gulf of Thailand. He also sent me this photo of a Japanese H-2 rocket. Here are more photos of the same debris which I came across online. Looking at these photos, I'm not convinced that our debris is from the same source. The wall thickness of this debris is much greater than the debris we found. It also has a number of fixing points and brackets. But this was only given as an example, and our debris is likely to be from something similar, not exactly the same. The key point he was making is that our debris is not from MH370 or a Boeing 777. So that brings our story to a close. It is disappointing that we didn't discover part of MH370, which might have provided a vital clue in solving the mystery of what happened to the airplane and providing some much needed closure to the families of those who lost someone on the flight. But it's been an interesting journey nonetheless, and it's a pretty crazy thing to find part of a space rocket on an island in the middle of nowhere in the Gulf of Thailand. I'd like to thank Richard Godfrey for his time looking at my photos and providing the information that he did so we could understand where this debris came from. I hope you enjoyed my video and found it interesting. See you next time.